Portugal. There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP Morning Show.
Olá Bom Dia ALEGRIA, Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show live stream and podcast. Hastily thrown together intro this morning. We've got Nuno and Raquel joining us today. This is the Good Morning Portugal monthly business update, and because we continue with our Portugal Preparedness Week, we're going to be talking about insurance and endurance. And what I mean by that is let's recap on some of the insurance services that Winsurance and Nuno can offer us, including there was something that was spoken about a year or two ago, a new product to help with elderly care here in Portugal, which I haven't spoken to him about for a little while. But so let's see where he is with that. If you need some home visits, that sort of thing. I think that was part of the planning that he was talking about a little while ago. Let's find out from him. And we see him at around 8:40 this morning. And Raquel, as well as the insurance from Nuno, yes, who of course was wearing this T-shirt yesterday. It's so cosmic, isn't it? And there he is with it covering his scout uniform. He's such a legend, that man. I think I've got a scout video as well that we might be playing. I need to make sure I can share that publicly. Who knows? The scouts may have rules about such things. Anyway, yeah, as well as Nuno joining us, we've got Raquel joining us. She can answer any questions you've got about starting and running a business here. But what about the long term? We've got some of the oldest businesses in the world here in Portugal, CTT being one of them. Some say they still have some of the first letters that were given to them for their care and delivery, still awaiting delivery from I think it was the 18th century in their warehouse in Lisbon, along with all the Brexit stuff, perhaps. But anyway, if you're here to start a business as something of a legacy, maybe I think the idea of starting a trust and a charity here in Portugal is problematic. It's challenging enough for the Portuguese. I don't know what it's like to be a foreigner doing that. It might be better to start a company that gets inherited by your successors. We'll ask her about that when we see her at around 8:20 this morning. And talking about being a foreigner, interesting news this morning. Apparently, the number of foreigners here in Portugal has reached 1.5 million, which I think is 15% of the population. That's extraordinary. What an incredible country to be so welcoming. We are seeing the manifestation of that in all sorts of ways at the moment, are we not? In the heat of that situation and such volume of incomers into the country, and quadrupled since 2017 is a statistic I've been looking at. That's quite a short space of time, really. That is pretty extraordinary, is it not? 2017, less than 10 years, the foreign population has quadrupled. So those stats say. I know we to and fro on these stats, but I think they're perhaps indicative rather than something to be argued about. Good morning to you, Jackie. Now, am I right? I'm thinking, Jackie, it was your birthday yesterday. You were quiet about that. Bom dia, Gumpers, and big hugs to you, Carl. Parabéns. Many happy returns to you, Jackie. Was it your birthday yesterday? Do you know what? Congratulations and have a great day, whether it was your birthday or not yesterday. That applies to you as well, Sarah. Have a great day. Bon dia. Literally, good day. Bon dia. Isn't it lovely? I was penning my little message to the Portugal Club members this morning, and I remarked upon that. Isn't it lovely that this country has bon dia as its principal greeting? Not hello. Hello has got hell in it. Bon dia's got goodness in it. Bon dia, good day. Bon dia, Gumpers e feliz carta, says Coach. Everyone else is rather quiet this morning. What's up with you? You got the hump? Not you, Coach Turner. And looking forward to speaking to you on Friday, because it's so important what you do and what you've been doing for us, the Growing Old Disgracefully and the Gentle Fitness for Bon Viveurs. You and I, we've been flying the flag for that, have we not, Ian, for 2 or 3 years now. And it's there when people want to pick it up and run with it. And if not run with it, then maybe jog with it. And if not jog with it, then just have a gentle stroll. That's the encouragement. You can thank him later in a few years' time when you've got thousands, tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of steps under your belt and on your trainers, and that gentle encouragement from the coach over these last few years in the Growing Old Disgracefully program, which you can also find at the Portugal Club. portugalclub.com or theportugalclub.com. Easier to go to gmpvip.com. Bit breezy out, but we'll be taking the little people out for a walk. Can't have them sitting in front of a screen all day. Not like us. Yes, 21 again yesterday. Thank you, Carl. Well, not at all, Jackie. Happy birthday to you. And I'm sure others will join me in wishing you, well, hoping that you had a great day yesterday and a lovely year ahead, which I hope includes Portugal in its compass. The way we look at it, we're all foreigners. We just happen to be lucky enough to enjoy other cultures. Life is a book. Without travel, you are only reading the first page, Peter. Thank you for that, Jackie. Hope you had a fantabulous day. Cheers, Pete. Most countries are made up of immigrants. It's just the time frame that's different. Absolutely. Rapid change is always difficult for people to cope with. Well, let's find out a bit more about that if we have time. Other news this morning includes an optional extra public holiday granted. And I have to say, I'm a little bit cynical about why the government has suddenly given government workers an extra holiday. What could that be in relation to? Oh, there's an election. There's an election in a month and 2 days. Minister promises border controls. That's in direct relation, is it not, to what I'm just about to discuss? And this is quite nice. I don't know about you, but I'm with some of the news that I've seen, I think there is a little bit of a crime spike in Portugal at the moment. And nothing that I was told to worry about by a local politician just recently. It was very, very reassuring to hear that. So when I saw the headline, new app to report incidents in public spaces, I was thinking, what's this all about? It's actually really good. It's civic pride, really. And if we've got time, I'll tell you about what Coimbra are up to. Did I mention I was there at the weekend? It was fabulous. It's lovely to see a picture of Coimbra in that particular news item there, which I'll return to if we have the time before we welcome Raquel onto the screen. A cup of tea incoming too in my Good Morning Portugal mug. Can life get any better than this? Thank you very much, Mrs. M. Bom Dia Portugal from João Ernesto as well. How you doing, John? And I think that's us up to date in the chat for the moment. But if you haven't said hello, if you're here and you haven't said hello yet this morning, what's up with you? How about just a little bon dia, maybe in the chat? And if you're watching and you've never said anything before, if you're a lurker, why not make today the day when you go from lurker to gumper and you say hi on the screen? All right, let's go to excellent reporting in the Portugal Weekly, and I think the idea is to subscribe because it's over on Substack. Portugal News, no, calls for IMA change. There we go. Let's have a look then. And this is the Portugal Weekly. I do urge you to sign up to this Substack. It's Jorge Branco, who we spoke to. We met a long time ago, and I've been sharing some of his news. Well, for a good couple of years now, I think. Time flies. There it is. There's Jorge Branco's Substack. Are you a Substack user? I think it's an amazing platform. I noticed they've run into a little bit of controversy because they are wanting to have live video and podcasting. And for the old farts who are more literary than audio visual, it's been a bit of an upheaval. We liked it the way it was. Stop changing things. Where's my cheese? That sort of thing. And I do understand that, of course. But that's technology for you. I mean, maybe it's trying to be too many things to too many people. We shall see. But anyway, Jorge Branco, Jorge Branco, Branco, and that's .substack.com. I've got a Substack. Gary Coulton and I use Substack for our Positive Echo work. It's good. I think it's very, very good. And it's a really good way. I think it's where probably the mass media is headed, isn't it, into niche media, and hopefully independent media makers, producers, getting paid directly by the people who want to use their services and subscribe to them. Canning fever. What's this? Just getting severe. Are you got canning fever or can-in fever? Are you? What are you canning this morning, or is it caning? maybe. What you do in your private life is your business, Hugh. Good morning to you. Also, at the logo, off for 10 weeks in the US, back to Portugal on 27th of June. João Resto, boa viagem, meus amigos. Have a great time. Do send a postcard if you get the time to do that. It's always lovely to hear from you, whether you're in Portugal or in the United States. But have a great journey. Wow, amazing. What a time to be flying into the United States at the moment. Very interesting. Very interesting times in history. Right. Jorge Branco, what have you got for us here? Calls for I'm a change as number of immigrants hits 1.5 million. Portugal hits out at Trump's ideological questions to universities. Well, we covered that. Let's focus. Oh, and by the way, Jorge Branco, Portugal Weekly will be back one day later than normal after Easter on Wednesday, April 23rd. It seems the Easter celebrations are this coming weekend, probably in a town or village or city near you. The number of immigrants then living in Portugal has passed 1.5 million. Please subscribe to George yourself as well. And I think it's a touch de mista that he likes from time to time. If you want to reward his diligence and expertise and hard work, basically here. Publico is reporting that figure, citing an agency for integration, migration and asylum report, and I'm a report, of course. Even that estimate is expected to be revised upward, pushing the number of foreigners with residency past 1.6 million, or 15% of the population. That's about 4 times higher than in 2017, it says here. The report also stated the end of the old expression of interest regime criticized as open doors by the government, which was in opposition when it was introduced, and led to a 59 drop in requests for residency when that open door was closed. Now, I have, I think one of our friends, Gilda Pereira, GP, was on the telly yesterday. She sent me a video. I wonder, should I share this or not? But I saw something myself about the is it a manifestación de interesa that was being talked about in the cafe. Other than being in the cafe, I would not choose to watch CNN Portugal. However, when the call comes from CNN Portugal to be on there, I think I probably would. I don't know, that's massive hypocrisy. And I think Gilda leapt at the chance yesterday as well. Here she is, I believe, in action. Well, I don't think we get to see the interview here. But this came across my desk yesterday. Well done, Gilda, by the way. She seems to be coming to the notice of higher and higher ups in the pecking order of things in the government here in Portugal. This being a good example of it, I think. It's a nice little montage, isn't it? Well done, Gilda. And I suspect that's what she was talking about. The open door policy, as it were, that's now shut, and now there's a 59% drop in requests for residency. The figures come as a new analysis of European Union-wide migration reforms known as the Pact on Immigration, the PM and Asylum, the PMA, would force up taxes and worsen generational inequality if implemented in Portugal. Espresso reports there. The Nova SBE study, that's the Nova Business School, found that if all the reforms were implemented nationally, the reduction in immigration would cause a major hit on social security and pensions due to the aging population. It's interesting, isn't it? Context and focus are so interesting. I think whether there's immigration or not, taxes are going to go up, right? It's just going to go up. It's a bit like your comment, Ian, isn't it? About there's always immigration. It just depends on the amount and the quality, of course. Quantity and quality are the two issues, aren't they, with immigration? But I think we can assume that whether there's immigration or not, we are dealing with some very interesting demographics. Taxes are likely to go up, I suspect, either way. The reduction in immigration would cause a major hit on social security and pensions. I feel that major hit every month, social security and pensions due to the aging population. Okay. The Liberals say, yeah, whether there's immigrants or not, they're going to need looking after, right? And that means more money for the public purse. Or we come up with some other solutions for such care. I don't know if we'll be going there this morning with either Raquel or Nuno. The Liberal Initiative Party is pushing for this. I think is very interesting. This is something I wanted to share with you this morning. The Liberal Initiative Party, and I think they're quite important in forming the pact that will be the government on the 18th of May. There's going to be some horse trading, and to get a consensus, a majority, I think both socialist parties, both the main parties, as it were, PS and PSD, are going to need the willingness and cooperation of the likes of Schäger and Liberal Initiative, to name but two. We'll see how that shapes up. The Liberal Initiative Party is pushing for total digitalization of the IMA process. Wouldn't that be awesome? Allowing immigrants to follow their applications in real time. I mean, it shouldn't. I mean, we can put Katy Perry in space, maybe. Why can't we digitalize the IMA processes? Wouldn't that be great? And there is some long grass to get into there. There are agendas, don't you? That some people who work for the government, I think, don't want these processes to speed up. It's all work to them. It's all work. So that would take an intervention, I think, from the left field, as it were. Like in the way that Gouvier Mello swept in and spearheaded the vaccination program, and now he's running for president. You need a figure like that, don't you, to say, okay, come on, let's digitize this process, and to be a good leader and to take everybody with him or her, whoever this person might be, and say, look, okay, we're not going to take all your work away. You're not going to get done out of a job, but we do need to improve this situation. Along with the proposal to create one multilingual portal with timeframes and automatic notifications. Wow, 21st century stuff. The right-wing party, that's the Liberal Initiative. Yes, right-wing party, liberal in that sense. Libertarian, I suspect, more than old-fashioned British liberal or liberals in the US. The right-wing party wants to guarantee interoperability. Now, this is going to be a problem for them because I don't think anyone knows how to say this. They want to guarantee interoperability. Is that joined up thinking? Yes, it is. But no one says that anymore because the politicians ruined that last time when they started talking about joined up thinking, because none of it got joined up, did it? With the Tax and Customs Authority, Social Security and Employment and Professional Training Institute. You see, there you go. There's all the taxation kicking in when you become a resident right there, joined up. The IEFP. Last month, IMA introduced a new page. Sadly, it was only a new page. It wasn't connected to anything. I think it is now. IMA introduced a new page allowing immigrants to change some basic details such as their address, marriage status, and gender online. Could you, if you had an argument with your spouse, could you change your marriage status immediately online? I don't think that's what that's meant there. And you could change your gender online. You could change your description of your gender online. I don't think you could actually change your gender online. That would be messy, possibly. Publico reports, anyway, that part of it. You can also request a replacement for a lost or destroyed permit. All changes require at least 90 days of validity remaining on the visa or authorization. I think that's working better now. We have heard reports from Gumpers that new page, and there's a link to it. If you go to George Branco's reporting here, you'll have to link to that as well. Government Minister, excuse me, quick cough. Government Minister Antonio Lighthouse has floated the idea, a floater, everybody, who doesn't like a floater first thing in the morning, the idea of extending the 5-year time period, yes, needed to live in Portugal before applying for citizenship. This is the news, isn't it? Portuguese put something out yesterday. I think I brought it to your attention first after hearing about it. Well, it was the Dream Team, wasn't it, last Thursday? Rodolfo Pelicano, who mentioned that. I told you about that on Friday. Portuguese has picked up and run with it yesterday, if you want to check his video out about that, without giving any detail of how long he would like the time frame. Everyone else leapt to the conclusion then that it was from 5 to 10, which he referred to as a pull factor for immigrants looking for European documents. He said it was a discussion we want to have with Portuguese society. Parliament last year approved a change that would have counted the 5 years from the date of applying for residency rather than the date it was granted, which could have dramatically reduced the time period, but it was never fully implemented. Oh, right. Portugal Weekly, then. Please subscribe to wonderful George Branco. I'll put the link for that back into the chat so that you can do that and see that yourself. I think I'll go to the extra public holiday. I think you understand my cynicism around that, but good for you, all you hardworking local government workers who are going to be offered. The government will grant state workers a day off on the afternoon of Holy Thursday, the 17th. That's tomorrow, isn't it? According to an order signed by Prime Minister Luis Montenegro, who's fighting for his political survival. I'm sure it's not connected. Tolerance is granted to workers who perform public functions in the direct administration services of the state, whether central or decentralized, and in public institutes in the afternoon of Holy Thursday, April 17th. Never mind about that, says everybody working for the government. Does that apply to me or not? Nice long, that'll be one of those bridging weekends then. Finish tomorrow morning or tonight, finish this evening and be back at work maybe on Monday then. Or is Monday a bank holiday as well? I'm not sure. Maybe someone can let me know in the chat. And Coimbra, well done, Coimbra. A new app to report incidents in public spaces. Well done. This is the Portugal news. Let me just bring it onto the screen for you. Oh, a few more comments. Good morning to you. Chumbaria. Is there a net migration figure too? No, not at this stage, Steve. I think it's Steve, isn't it? We're still we're still dealing with the controversial part of it. We'll calm down and be more rational about it in a little while. Bon dia, Carl. Brrr, very chilly in the hills north of Leiria. Oh wow, what a beautiful description. The chilly hills north of Leiria is Chumbaria. Well, it's a poem. So Joao Ernesto will try to watch the show in the P hours, the wee hours, the P hours of the morning. I see. I know, John. If you start messaging us in the wee hours of the morning, make sure you wash your hands before playing with your phone. Wonder what I was going to say there, didn't you? Right. Let's go to the Portugal news then. Where's Raquel this morning? Hopefully she'll be joining us in just a mo. Did I send the link? That's quite important, isn't it? Did I send the link? Yes, I did. Excellent stuff. Okay. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to resend the link just in case. You know how it is. Once you get relaxed in Portugal and you're at the cafe and you're having your pastel de nata and you're drinking your coffee and you had that date to be on the Good Morning Portugal show, but time drifts, doesn't it? When you're in those timeless states, those wonderful Portuguese moments. Anyway, we've done that one, the call for IMA and the new app. But good question there, Steve, by the way. What is net migration? I don't think this is what Mel brought to our attention the other day. It hasn't changed massively since 2017. Very quickly then, new app to report incidents in public spaces. Coimbra City Council has presented at Coimbra. Good work here. Let me just, what's the pop-up here? Poseidon Holidays. Anyone use them? Coimbra City Council, at Coimbra, an application that allows incidents in public spaces to be reported. This is not incidents of antisocial behaviour. This is if you've got a pothole, that sort of thing, directly to the municipality, in addition to providing other useful information. The app developed by the Central Region Information Technology Association, AIRC, is available for Android and iOS. Allows any citizen to report occurrences with georeferencing. That's useful, isn't it? So in the old days, so where was the pothole? Well, it's near the lamppost, just near Maria's house. Okay. This will be very specific georeferencing. Within the application, citizens can choose to report incidents related to green spaces, roads, cycle paths, not psychopaths, although sidewalks, public lights. Sidewalks? We do not call them sidewalks. We call them pavemented areas, do we not? Public lighting and infrastructure, noting cases such as faults in road signs, vegetation invading roads, triffids, or cycle paths again. Oh, I see. Vegetation invading cycle paths, subsidence or holes, the need for ramps or problems with street furniture. And President for the Chamber, José Manuel Silva, this technological step represents an insistence from months and years ago, highlighting that after inheriting a chamber that was on paper, it is now on the cell phone. Woohoo! Woo! Okay, so there you go. And I think other cities might follow suit with that. Well done, Coimbra. App at Coimbra is the new app there for reporting things of a civic nature, and whereby you can step up to your civic responsibility and report such things. Hi, Mike, Karen, Pam. This morning as well. Come back to more of your comments. But now let's welcome onto the stage Raquel from Lighthouse Consulting. Hola, bom dia.
Hello.
How are you doing, Raquel?
Are you listening correctly?
I can hear you. Yeah. Have you got a
Yeah,
voice?
because I'm just testing my new mic, and of course panicked 2 minutes before going on air because nothing was working as per usual.
Bless you. But I would never have known that. You sound and look fabulous this morning. Thank you for being here on the Good Morning Portugal show. How are you? Tudo bem?
Thank you. And you? How are you guys going?
We're better. We've had croaky, coffee, snotty, sinusy things going on.
Yeah.
But we seem to have turned the corner. You too, right?
Yeah, well, it's been all around. I mean, I've been with this hoarse voice like for 4 weeks now, so I've just given up on having a normal voice by now.
It gets to that, doesn't it? We're permanent naysayers with the voice.
It's also the kind of thing that it's not serious enough so that you go and like find a doctor and take care of it until it finally is. But until it's not, it's like it's fine. It gets better and it gets worse. It gets better. So
that's what I've noticed. It comes and goes, doesn't it? So Mrs. M thinks she's 100%, and then in the evening it might kick in again, mightn't it?
Yeah.
Funny old thing. Right. So apart from that, how is life in consulting? How's Lighthouse Consulting doing? How's your business?
It is, well, it's funny that we're touching on 2 points today about longevity and contingency, let's say, because exactly, I think I am at a point where I needed to stop and reassess my business model, because at the first, within the first years, you're just trying to a little bit of figure out what you're doing, especially if you don't have a plan, or if you don't have anything or anyone orienting you or guiding you. And then you get to a certain stage where it's great because you do have clients coming in, and thank God I have this most amazing business model, which is 95% referrals. So they all kind of fall into my lap, which is everyone's dream.
Nice.
But then it comes to a time where you're still changing time for money, and that's still kind of a job. So that is not scalable. And that it's not sustainable in the long run, because I want to have more clients because I want to grow. But if I want more clients, I need to give more time. And that is not something that I am willing to do. That is not what I set out to do. So it really is about reassessing and just stopping, because the world's not going to stop. So stop. And getting help, it's good. I had Margaret Malevsky help me out, because it's good to have an outside person into your business, fresh eyes, new perspectives, different experiences. And right off the bat, there were like 2 or 3 ideas that she came up with that was really easy to implement, that I am starting to implement, that made a difference. But until you stop and have the courage to stop and say, I have to give this a thought, you'll just get wrapped up in the turmoil of it all. And so I'm at that stage, which is also about sustainability and longevity, because this is pretty much not a good business model, in the sense that it's all me. And you don't want a business that it's you. You want a business that is completely independent of you, that you can go away and it continues to work, and it continues to work for generations to come. So that is the shift. That is exactly the shift that I have to do right now.
That's very interesting. And the context of that, of course, is we are looking at it's Portugal Preparedness Week, which doesn't only mean getting old. And
that doesn't happen to me, so I don't know what you're talking about.
To us, does it? No, absolutely. Or having water in your larder. There are so many aspects to this, which the Portugal Club members are seeing over there at theportugalclub.com about, I mean, really, it's exciting. It's about resourcing yourself for the rest of your life in Portugal and having that sort of perspective, that big perspective of having a fantastic life here for the rest of your life here in Portugal. Now, for some people, and this is what I was asking you yesterday, that might be legacy as well. That might be, and you know, more and more foreigners have this conversation. I know you do, especially with people who start businesses. I love this country. I want to give something back. Now, that might be the business itself, mightn't it? Because that's tax revenue, that's jobs creation, and they might start talking to you about starting a trust or a charity, which is what they're used to in the country they come from. And at which point, I suspect you go, oh, steady on, hold on just a minute. Yes, great idea. Let's create a business. Let's create a legacy. Mate, can we deal with that bit first? Because it's not as simple. It is, starting a charity is fairly straightforward. There's some reporting to do in the UK. It's fairly straightforward, and I'm sure Brits who come to you say, "Yeah, I want to start a charity," thinking it's similarly easy here. It's not, is it? And the trust thing as well is not as simple as it is.
The trust is just impossible. It's not simple. It's impossible. There's no legal figure that corresponds to a trust here. So, you know, Americans and people from the UK come here and they just don't believe. You know, what do you mean you don't have? What do you mean I can't create a trust? There's no legal figure equivalent to a trust here in Portugal. There's just not. There's just not. Yeah. So what you can do is find different ways to still control the money or have the objective for that money in other ways. But there's no trusts in Portugal. Forget about that. Family offices, whatever you want to, you know, high net worth individuals, forget about trusts, because they just don't exist in Portugal. When it comes to charities, it is quite similar to creating a company, but then it has an added layer of difficulty, because it's not meant to make money. It's not meant to generate profit. It's an association that lives for its own purpose. It's not for a financial purpose. And so because of that, it has an extra layer of supervision. And so there's like the fiscal body that supervises the accountants. There's a number of people that have to be in the governing bodies. You know, it's not as simple as an LDA where you can be just one person or two. There's a whole structure that has to be in place so that the association is supervised. And there are, you know, there's a theory or a school in supervision, which is the 4 eyes. You know, you always want to have 2 people at least looking at the same things. Oh yeah. And it's a little bit like that. So if you have an association that is run by one person, it's not an association. An association is an association of several different people. So it's the coming together of different people, of different interests. And in order to balance and to rule how those different interests work together, you need a set of rules, and you need a set of certain bodies that it's almost like a government. Like one is the government, the other is the parliament, the other is the president, the other, you know.
And it has its constitution. It has its constitution.
Yes. So it's pretty much a much more complex structure, because of something so simple as it's not a business that intends to make money for its shareholders. It's a conjunction of interests of several people, and those interests of all of them have to be taken care of. And so the structure is quite different. I mean, in terms of timeline of creation, it's not that different. It's more the fact that you have to, you know, sign up more people, give those people roles, sometimes roles they're not used to, like controlling the accounts, controlling where the money goes.
Nice.
You know?
all interesting stuff. Now, can I illustrate this because I had these same assumptions, and having lived here for a few years now, you begin to, you know, the penny drops, doesn't it? So what I think you're talking about, and what I think people might recognize, Raquel, from their daily lives, is if they go to their local association in the village and there is a cafe and a community center, that's the sort of thing you're talking about, isn't it? Where local people have got together and they have a constitution to serve the people of the village and people who come into the village, and it'll be the running costs of the hall, of the cafe, and the
And they
cafe
all
doesn't.
contribute, and there's a
Yes,
treasury person somehow that has
yes.
like a little box with the money.
Yeah, and the advantage of it, and these are wonderful places in local communities. I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
use one outside of our town on the way to Caldas. We stop off there, and the prices are excellent, aren't they? Because they're not paying EVA. I think they're EVA free on their
Yes,
purchases,
there are tax benefits, of course, yes.
and they are not. They are there to provide a service to the local community, so they keep the prices down. They're not maximizing profit for the shareholders. They are minimizing profit for the benefit of local people, which is a lovely model. And these are all over Portugal, aren't they?
Yeah, it's not like minimizing profit, but every profit, they want to generate profit, but that
Yes.
profit has to be turned into the association. Let's say
Yes.
they want to build something, a new
Yes.
structure that they need. They all have to come together and then generate that money. But that money has that exclusive purpose of building that new thing that they want, a new bench, bleacher, in the stadium, whatever it is.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Or do the roof,
So,
re-roof the place.
or redo the roof,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Or having, I don't know, a marketing somewhere, somewhere. So it really has to do with what is the objective of the association, and in this case, of course, it's not profit for shareholders.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So forgive me. So of course they need to generate some surplus to put into the products or
Yeah,
project that they wish to, and presumably the Congress, the association itself of the villages and those on the panel or the board will have ideas brought to them, and they'll say, yes, we need to do the roof, or yes, we want to do a new football pitch,
of
and we'll do
course.
that with some EU money. But it's really lovely because it's grassroots organization, isn't it, of local communities overseeing the development of their own infrastructure and social
Oh, yeah.
function. Yeah, which is great.
And it's there's great businessmen or with a business mentality in those places, because those people can perform miracles with the
Yes,
small amount
absolutely.
of money that they have.
Yes.
And they really can congregate a lot of people, because there's there's a common interest, and everybody's working for a cause. And it's much simpler that way, because you not only have people that may contribute like with a monthly fee or a monthly donation or whatever it is, but also with volunteer work
Yes.
when you need. So, but it's nowadays it's not that easy to find volunteers.
Yeah, understood.
So
Understood. Although that would be a nice option for, let's go back to the foreigner, the immigrant, the expat who wants to contribute to their local society and the country.
yeah,
They could be on the board, couldn't they? It'd be a great way to meet local people, bring their expertise to bear in a real scenario, and get to know
yeah.
everybody and make a real contribution. I mean, that's a very tangible contribution to local life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, and if you make that contribution as a company, there are certain situations where it's tax free, where you get a tax benefit from making that donation.
a
So it's
financial
good
donation.
every way around. This from a corporate side of things. So if a company does that donation, of course, if a private person does the donation, there's no tax benefit.
Yeah.
But if a company does, there is.
Okay, so there you go. That's the answer to your question there, Jackie. And so would you then signpost that the foreigner who wants to get involved forgets about trusts, because it doesn't exist anyway, and reorients their mind around charity to be more of an association minded rather than starting a charity? Okay.
And you can't start a charity. You can't start a non-profit organization. You can't start all of those things.
Yeah.
And you can donate. You can donate simply, directly.
Yes.
You can donate to any cause that you want. So all of that is possible.
Yes.
And a lot of people are in need of certainly donations. And there's actually the government is so aware of this that there is one specific type of golden visa exclusively set on donation for cultural associations and assets and projects.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? To move to get your golden visa and make a direct donation into the area you're moving to. That would be quite extraordinary. Good morning.
It's not that easy to focus your specific donation to whatever you want to, because you have to focus your donation to a specific association that is certified, let's say, for by the government for those certain areas. But
that makes sense. That could lend itself quite easily to corruption, couldn't it? If you could just choose where the money went.
Exactly. So this is to prevent and to actually get that money where it needs to be,
Very good.
So it's for cultural reasons. So you have to have, a cultural association that is going to have a specific project that they're going to work on with that specific money.
Very good. Good reminder. We'll bring Nuno in just a moment because he will join in with this conversation. He knows a thing or two about this.
Oh, yes. This is true. And not just this, but the VAT as well, eh?
Okay. Yes, Nuno, absolutely. And good morning to Andrea as well. Before Nuno joins us, then, just going back to Margaret, is she Margaret Malewski? Did you say, is she a consultant?
Yes.
Is she a business? Is that what she does here in Portugal?
Yes, she had a Cascais boot camp a few days ago, and she's an observer that then gives you the best ideas to move forward with your business, whatever it is, whatever the reason for observation is, and whatever the the path you want to go is. For me, I just said, I'm about to implode. I have 4 companies I'm running. I have 3 kids, and this is not what I want to do. And so what she does is kind of give you an outside look of, she has tons of experience, tons of different professional experiences that brought her to this point. And it's amazing because, well, first of all, she has like a very calm nature to her. So when you're at a panic point, because you go to her because there's something really wrong, and so you're like, and she has like this calm aura about her.
Grandmotherly. I'm not meaning to age her, but it sounds like a grandmotherly vibe. Sit down, dear. Let's talk.
Yes, let's sort it out, dear. And we do.
It's gonna be fine.
And we do. And it's not like science fiction solutions. It's doable, fixable, simple things that you can implement, like the low hanging fruit that you can pick up and you don't even remember how to do this. Because you just don't have time, right? You're just looking at, all the eggs falling.
Absolutely. That's the condition you're describing. So well done you, by the way, on seeing that. And sorry when I laughed when you said you were imploding. I didn't mean that badly, but I just recognized that among, small business people, you can get overwhelmed. And, part of our conversation off air was how can you, if you want to make a company, you want it to last, you have to do what you're doing, right? You have to take stock and stop. And otherwise you'll just drive into an unforgiving scenario from which it might be more difficult to recover without this sort of foresight. So well done, Raquel. Stay where you are, because it's always fascinating to talk to you and to Nuno. I don't know if you would have got this quiz right. Yesterday we were asking who wore this T-shirt to the Coimbra weekend, and the answer, of course, was this man who had a second. He had a second outfit underneath. Let's give him a nice big round of applause and bring him onto the screen. There he is in real life. No.
Go. Hello, good morning.
I have this, but it's not comparable. You win.
God. What is it with
you win?
You guys.
Well, first, let me say that I love your hairstyle, Raquel. So
there we go.
Just love it.
It's
Very
so
good.
nice of you to think that this is actually a hairstyle.
It keeps me well. So keep it. Regarding the T-shirt.
It's so sweet of you.
Regarding the T-shirt, we need to put it in its place. Okay. So it's something that sometimes when I feel in the correct mood, I wear it on ecstatic dance events or ecstatic gatherings. Yeah.
There you go. And you expect us to just say, "Oh, fine."
That's normal.
Yes, right. The next thing is what? You've got that T-shirt and you go to ecstatic dance. You're the insurance guy. What's happening here?
Well, and beneath the T-shirt, I was wearing my scout uniform. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I introduced
a
Nuno.
whole lot of information.
Yeah,
Right?
I said to a woman I just met at the event. She was extraordinary. She ran shamanic workshops up in the Viseu area, and I said I'd like to introduce you to a good friend of mine. And I'd like you to guess where he's just come from. Has he come from an insurance conference? Has he come from a scouting jamboree, or has he come from an ecstatic dance event? And she said, "Oh, I'll go with the ecstatic dance event because it's obviously not that." But he absolutely was.
Without the T-shirt.
Without the
Only with the
T-shirt, he
scout
was dressed as a
uniform.
scout.
Okay.
He was dressed as a scout. Thanks, Nuno, for being here this morning. Perhaps we can come back to the theme that we started talking about with Raquel about creating a legacy and enduring business, and the best way for foreigners to do that. Today's show is insurance and endurance. It's Portugal Preparedness Week. It's about having the best resources for the rest of your life here in Portugal, and obviously, insurance is a very important part of that. People will know you because you helped them with the insurance to come into the country with the health insurance that they needed for their CEF and IMA applications. When they've arrived here, and for the rest of our lives here in Portugal, as it were, you're going to be able to offer them health insurance, life insurance, home and motoring insurance. I think the only compulsory one of those is motoring insurance, isn't it? When you have a car, you don't have to have any of the others.
You don't have the travel insurance. It's a very specific insurance policy when you have the appointment with the embassy, consulate, or VFS office, and this is a mandatory one. Okay. Nevertheless, I heard yesterday a friend of mine told me that the government is going to set the health insurance also mandatory due to not the Americans, because they are very concerned with their health and with healthcare, but with other nationalities like Nepalese, Pakistanis, and so on, that somehow they came to Portugal and they took advantage of the system.
Right. Okay. But a health tourism or migration, migration medical. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So this is something that it is under discussion, or it is already settled.
That's interesting.
I'm not sure.
Okay. But we can anticipate that perhaps us folks coming in and getting residency in Portugal will have to make particular arrangements, mandatory arrangements, to cover our health through private insurance.
Yes.
Interesting. Thank you.
But this is through the mandatory point of view.
Yes.
Because I don't know, Raquel, you, but I, as a Portuguese, the national system is always plan B, never plan A. I always use the health insurance because I don't have the time to be 5 hours in the queue waiting for my time, or waiting 4 or 6 months for my doctor appointment.
I kind of have a different experience. When in an emergency, I always go to the public hospital, always, because they have the best resources. I've had instances, unfortunately, with serious things, where I went to the private hospital and they just sent me to the Cascais public hospital because they said, this is too serious and you need to go to the public hospital. Wow. I also have a different experience because I had two of my daughters in the public hospital with everything that I could have wanted and more. And I've paid zero and had all the exams, everything that I could have asked for. They were very nice. Of course, everybody has different experiences. There are certain people that have nightmare experiences, but it is the same with my kids. Whenever there is something that is very serious, and I've had a few scares, I always go to the public hospitals. Mm-hmm. If it's something, I want to check this thing, I have this pain here, like now I have this horrible pain in my shoulder. And this morning I was like, I have to go to the hospital because they have to give me like this shot and it's going to get over with. But if it's something that it's not emergent, something that you kind of know what it is, but you just need to get the prescription, and or something that like ear doctors. My kids go to, of course, a private doctor, and the pediatrician, of course, it's a private doctor. So specialties like that, of course, private doctors. But in emergency care, I always go to public hospitals.
Actually, the emergency number, the 112, which is similar to the 911, it's always public. Okay.
Yeah.
This settle has always public.
Okay.
Regarding what is mandatory or not, there is something that people usually are not aware of, which is every time that we have someone working for us at our home, could be a gardener, would be the maid, this is a mandatory insurance. Okay, so
that is an unexpected item, as it were, for foreigners, isn't it? So when you have people working at your house, you need to cover them with an insurance, and it is mandatory, as you're saying there.
Yeah, yes. And also Portuguese people forget of this. So I know that foreigners don't know, and Portuguese people know, but we forget this.
Okay.
So
other considerations for foreigners might be then that you need to check in terms of wildfire and earthquake coverage, because that's also new to you moving to Portugal. But just to recap there, thanks, Nuno. You don't have to have health insurance, although you might soon. Life insurance might be a requirement of lending. If it's mandatory, it's probably because of lending, but it's also optional otherwise in terms of your finance and wealth management considerations. Get that coverage for somebody working at your house. Cover your car, of course, and you do all of these, Nuno.
Yes, and also property insurance. If you live in an apartment, it's also mandatory. Okay.
Oh, okay. For the housing association.
Nevertheless, and besides what is mandatory or not, and this is why I'm using this background, I think that the key, the fundamental and critical point is about trust that you are talking about. So there are good professionals in the market, but work with someone that you really trust. Yeah, the guy of the bank, they usually just put you the documents to sign up, and don't ask many questions because they will not answer you. And this is before having claims. With the claim, could be a nightmare afterwards. So please choose something that you really trust. This is
I've said this before, Nuno. It's very interesting to see Raquel's reaction to that. Generally speaking, don't go for the low-hanging fruit, as it were, because when you're a foreigner in the bank and you've managed to open a bank account, you just want to drop to the floor and kiss the hallowed ground of BCP and say, thank you for having me. This is amazing.
What an honor.
What an honor. And then somebody says, would you like some insurance with that? And you're like, oh my God, they spoke to me in English and it's only 15 euros. Yes. Give it to me. Give it to me. And that's a foreigner situation, isn't it? But that you can be sorry about that at your leisure, because, as you say, they're not. It's a commission-based thing, isn't it? This is how people in banks are making their money.
Banks are not for insurances. Insurance companies are factories for banks.
See, Nuno didn't have to say that. Raquel said it instead.
I said it. I said what I said. I don't care.
Yes. Okay, very good. Now, there was one other thing, one other product that we were talking about before. We are talking about living, aging, even dying well here in Portugal. And there was a product you talked about before, Nuno, that's sort of in development. There are more and more people now who are pulling their head out the ostrich position and thinking, okay, as I age here in Portugal, I want to do that well. I want to be well resourced. I want to be healthy, and I might need a bit of help later on. Now, there was talk, wasn't there, of a policy that included some home help and support, and obviously that product is going to change, isn't it, in the next few years? People are going to need that, and I think foreigners will be very well disposed towards it. What's going on in that department in the insurance world generally?
Yeah, so the population is aging.
Yeah.
This is what everyone knows, and I'm not talking about the expats communities. I'm about the Portuguese population. It's aging. So this is something that we heard to talk about the concerns, but we don't see real development in this
Right.
area.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to wait to see. There is through the insurance, there is some assistance, some support, but it's not a major support. Like if you need to go to a nursing home, yeah, this you will pay from your pocket. Okay, no doubt about this. Nevertheless, Portugal has the Misericordias, and the Misericordias they were created by a queen of Portugal. I don't remember the name. Raquel, if you
It
know.
wasn't me. I'm sorry.
It wasn't Queen Raquel. We did that.
Okay, so I know that it was a queen, Portuguese queen, that created the Misericordias, and they provide a good support to the population, but it's not enough. We know that it's not enough, and there is a lack of service, and the private service is expensive. Could be expensive
Very.
according to Portuguese standards, economic standards. Okay, as a
Yes.
foreigner, could not be expensive. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's very interesting, and we've got to watch that space because there's going to be a need, isn't there? And there will be solutions will be required. And I mean, from a business point of view, it's an amazing entrepreneurial opportunity to provide a good service for people in older age, and a few people are thinking about it now.
By now, I only know about two insurance offers.
Right.
One from the major insurer in Portugal, and the other one, it was tailored by us with insurer, and it's not expensive at all.
And what do you get for that? What is the policy? What is the service?
Okay, so it's about the one of Fidelidad also has the burial service. So it's an insurance. It's a one shot. You pay once, and then you have the assistance at home that you need to pay on each year. And then there is a tailored insurance policy that also provides the assistance at home. And when I say assistance, is nursing at home, physiotherapy at home, and having a third person to help you when we are in a situation of bedridden or disability. The disability could be temporary or permanent, and this third person is to help us get a shower, assisting during meals, even do some shop to the grocery. So to these situations, also it has a concierge service. Is not concierge as you are. You could be used to know the service in, for example, in United States, because in Portugal, due to the data protection law, organizations could not yet share information, not even medical information between them. This is up to change, but by now it is what it is. Okay, so this concierge advice is someone. It's a phone line 24/7, fully assisted by doctors and nurses, English speaking, that could help you and assist you with, for example, search for the similar medication that you are used to take in your country of origin. Okay.
Is this all the same policy you're talking about?
Yes, this is the whole.
And available from you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like an incredible service, and I'm sure there will be more calls for that. That's the way to get in touch with Nuno via the Expats Portugal Business Directory. There, find Winsurance there. I do want to spend a couple of minutes, if we may, on legacy in business and contingency and those sorts of things, because of course, as well as being an ecstatic dancer and a scout, he is an incredible leader of a company, which is, of course, Winsurance, as you can see on the screen there. It was the Misericordia was created by Leonor of Aviz, who I believe is the same as Queen Leonor of Caldas da Rainha as well. She had a great interest in health and the thermal properties of the syrup, as it's often translated in the Caldesh there. So yes, I think it's the very same. Thank you for that, Freak Pete. A new name on the screen with your 3D glasses, and Antonio F as well, our go-to man for Portuguese culture and sayings. More of those at the Portugal Club. Right, Nuno, Raquel, thank you. So it's always very interesting, very information-rich when you join us once a month. This legacy thing then, Raquel, you were saying, weren't you, that it's important to take time out to reshape your business if you want a long-term business in terms of legacy. Anything else you want to say about that to the foreigner coming over thinking, I want to give back, I want to start something significant, and I want to do that here in Portugal? What would you say?
Do that. Do that.
Get on with it.
And
Right. Okay.
get on with it. Just get on with it. Of course, always the phrase, surround yourself with good professionals.
Yes.
Go, but you have to know that you have to be resilient, that it's not going to be easy, not only just to create it, but then to actually sustain it. It's life, and life has obstacles, and life has things that you have to overcome. In the end, it's something that you can quite be proud of, when you can have that legacy to your children or to other people, and you have a sense that you created something outside of yourself that grew out of yourself, but started with you and now has a life of its own, and it's helping a lot of people. So I think that's wonderful.
Very good. And people can get help from you for doing that. And it
Yes.
sounds like you're going to be expanding your team the way this is going, which of course also that's not something to be stepped into lightly here as a foreigner, is it? Just get your business started first. Don't expand straight away into employing 20, 200 or 2,000 people. That could be quite the headache until you get used to a few other things running a business here in Portugal. Right, thanks. And Nuno, we're going to be talking more, I think. We've mentioned it here before, the idea of helping foreigners get started, creating legacy, running businesses. There's going to be a network at some point, isn't there, where we're all talking together and sharing ideas. Nuno, I know Jerry at Expats Portugal is interested in that. Gene Helms is doing amazing stuff over at Tamar. There are little outbreaks of it. Cordelia and Mike in Caldesh Terrenia are doing incredible things. It will all come together, won't it, at some point, Nuno?
Yes. Things are there are a lot of people willing to this idea, not necessarily with leaving a legacy, but giving back.
Yeah,
the society.
Here and now.
And the giving back, it depends what you want to give back. It's your time, because this is something that people don't think about. People think usually on money, but it could be not money. Because if we have the money, but if we don't have the people to put these in action, nothing will happen. So sometimes it's only time, availability to be with others. So this is something that I see the expat community very engaged with.
Yes.
So I'm 100% sure that suddenly different actions will start, and it's not located in Portugal, in Lisbon or in Porto, but among the country, especially from central and north. So from Lisbon up north.
That's right. Us central and northern people are a little bit more. I don't know. There's something about us compared to the Algarve people.
Us central and northern people, Carl. Okay,
Yes,
now you are complete Portuguese. Let me say, us.
Thank you,
northern people.
Thank you for noticing. Right. Yes, Shumbaria, Steve. We would love to do a live broadcast with Andy from your fabulous premises. That would be lovely. Pam is a virtual assistant, by the way, second pair of eyes. And she too doesn't want her whole life taken over by a business. That's why she doesn't work full time, but she offers a great service. And the big news of the morning, everyone. Somebody used the I'm a contact form and it worked. So we've got a special treat for you, Mel, this morning. Thanks, Nuno. Thanks, Raquel. Raquel, lots of love to you. You've got that mum energy. So much going on. You're mothering your children, getting them off to school. You're talking to us, and you've got a terrible pain in your shoulder. We see you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Go get it sorted out and get some
Thank you.
healing vibes on that shoulder. Thank you so much for being here, both of you. All the best. Take care.
Bye.
Special treat. And happy birthday, Jackie. Ciao, ciao.